Hello everybody, it's me, and welcome back to another video. Now, in this video, I am going to be ranking all of the Event Loomians in Loomian Legacy. I'm not actually sure whether I should include Harva or I should include Wintrix. I'm still deciding on that. I might have like I might include them, because you can only get them through an event so far. And if they ever change it in the future, if you come back to here and say that I'm wrong, I will sue you. Anyway, let's get straight into it. And here we are. Okay. I totally did not Google Loomian Legacy tier list. Okay, so I have these separated into 6 tiers of A, B, C, D, E, F. F is the worst. E is slightly above the worst. I think this one sucks. It makes no sense. Yeah, this works a little better. Hold on, I gotta change these colors. Something just about this doesn't seem correct to me. Here we go. Okay, yeah, we got 5 tiers, A, B, C, and D. They're pretty good. A means they're the best. B means that they're really good, but they're not close to being the best. C is like in the middle. D is like little worse, and E is like you suck. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna get straight into it, and I'm gonna put Cosmior E in. I think I want to put it. It's like I want to put it probably low C. I'm gonna wait and put it in low C tier. There might be some events that I'm missing, but I'm looking around to make sure I'm not. Why is Wakalaka so small? Why is there 2 Wakalakas? What is this tier list? Who made this crap? Anyway, but yeah, with Cosmior encased, it's really good defensively, and it's good. It's good. You know, it's peace of mind. It's got setup. It's got like. It's good for hitting like toxic types and brawler types. A really good brawler type check. But problem is it gets set up on very easily because its best form of recovery is Slumber. And Slumber you just get set up on very easily because you're not raising your defenses at all. So things like Protagon can come in and kill you. Things like Metronet. It's scary after that. Then you could get swept, and who knows, it'd be unfortunate there. Okay, and Cosmior Unleashed. Not Unleashed. Cracked. I haven't used that much at all. So I don't know if it's like good, if it's bad. I haven't seen a lot of good use of it. I'm not sure where to put it, to be honest. I don't know where to put it, to be honest. But I think I'm gonna put it above the encased. It's definitely gonna be a little higher up, like probably high C, low B. But to be honest, I haven't seen that much play of it. I'm not really sure how it's supposed to be played, you know, like I'm not really sure. So that's where I'm going to be ranking it there, because I don't use it, haven't seen much usage of it, so this is where my point stands. Okay, and Cosmior Unleashed, I'm going to put in low B. It's just in high B right now, but it'll be lower later. But with Cosmior Unleashed, it has so many different setups. You could use Sharp Focus Hypnotize, you could use Rev Up, you could use Ace, you could use Wise, you could use anything. The possibilities are endless. You could use Total Eclipse. The possibilities are endless with Cosmior Unleashed, which is why I think it's probably the best out of the Cosmior forms, in my opinion. But it could be Cosmior Unleashed. I don't know. I haven't seen much usage of it, you know? I can't really judge something if I don't have a lot of usage. Okay, and Wakalaka, unfortunately, has like the worst typing in the whole game. Wakalaka does unfortunately have a very bad typing. But that's really all to say about it. It has good coverage, so it might go low. It might go low D, high, low D, high E tier. But it has really good coverage, but it's really hard to get on the field because it has like 8 weaknesses and like 2 useful resistances in like Brawler and Water, and its immunity to light is very good, but that's pretty much all it's got going for it. It's like quad weak to Bug and Dark, which are good common typings. You also see Fire, which is, I think it's one of the, I'm not sure, I don't see very many fire types, but yeah, I think it's good where it is. Where did I put Spreezy? Do I have there? Why are you over here? Stop. Okay. Anyway, Odasho. I'm gonna put in D. People learned how to play around this thing like really fast. Literally, if you have a plant type with Provoke, Shartiki, this thing just dies immediately because it can literally only use Return to Sender or Pestilence, and Chartiki has Recovery. It can poison you with Muck Blast. It can provoke you. Chartiki can do a lot of things versus this thing. So can things like Festifer are really good against this. Things like Himber threaten this. Things like Mood, like things that can set up and have an effective move. Just Dasho can't do anything against, and it's Dasho. I loved it, and I used it during its time of glory, and now it's fallen. Anyway, yeah. Now we're gonna go to Spreezy. I think Spreezy's a low B tier, mostly because it has so many moves. It has like Provoke, Sap Plant, Pestilence, Gust, Talent Trade, Barbs, Provoke. Did I already say Provoke? Yeah, I did. It has a lot of moves, basically. It has a lot of different options. You can do like very robust. It can be robust and nimble. You can use a very smart offensive one. Really, it's up to what you want to use, but yeah, there's a lot of different possibilities you can use with this thing. You can use a sweeper, you can use a support, you could really use anything on this thing, and it would probably work. It just has a lot of great moves at its disposal. But unfortunately, because like the game is kind of bulky now, there's just a lot of things that can counter this thing. There's brawler types, like things like Himber, just scare this thing out. Wind Tricks is very common. Akalos common. Dungeon's common. Like it was really good back in the day. It was really good slapdown switching. It's also still really good slapdown switching to this day. If it had better recovery or like an immediate recovery move, Spreezy would definitely be a little higher up on this list. I think I'm gonna put it here. I think Spreezy's a little bit better than you. Okay, and now we're on to Mocho, which I'm gonna put in high B or probably low A tier once I add a few of them. Now with the buff to Deep Freeze, Mocho can now hit water types pretty effectively. So very clever water types like Luminami, Blowotox, things like that, it can now hit really effectively. I'm not sure if you use very clever Blowotox, but if you do, good on you. And with having Boom Bat, it can basically hit all of its things that are scary for it to deal with, except for things like Icyghoul, for one's a really good counter to it. That's pretty much all I can think of is like Icyghoul. And things like Mudagon can quick punch it. It can revenge kill it. Ursul's good against it. Ursnac's good against it. It can baffle and can completely get rid of its speed buffs. So yeah, Mocho's pretty good, but like thanks to like a lot of like things that can check it, it's not the best. I mean, it's high up on the list because of the sweeping potential. Totemochi I feel like was more of a meme I put on here, so I'm gonna put it in D. I'm looking at this now. I think after actually I'm gonna do this. I think I'm gonna do that. Yeah, this just looks better to me because of Waka Waka's coverage it has now. So I think this makes more sense to me. But anyway, talking about Totemochi. Totemochi is like a complete meme set. If you don't know what Lucky, it has an ability called Lucky, and people use very nimble, frail, clumsy, and they use Barter, Thunder Orb with Hop Kick, basically giving you a 90% chance that the opponent does not move if you outspeed them. So if things like Sticky Web are ever introduced into the game, holy crap, this thing's gonna be probably the scariest thing in the whole game. I'm not even sure if this thing gets Barter, but if it does, sick. Anyway, now we're on to Hognosh, which I feel like I'm gonna put an A. I think it's a really, really good event. It's a really good event, Loomian. It can use very clever, it can use very robust, it can use very brawny, it can use a lot of different sets, but very clever is definitely the best one. It acts as the only only good counter to Metronet in the whole game. I guess Harva doesn't count, but it's really good against Metronet. It can scare a lot of range attackers out, like Protogon can scare out, Kizune, I guess. Valkyrie is an for me. Things like Gardrone it scares out. Infernix it can freak out. Yeah, there's a lot of different things that it can scare. But it also, with like only fire, you're weak to like earth and water and air. Which earth is a good typing, which is good like offensive and defensive typing. And water is scary because it's a water move, and I swear, like, I see so many teams that are weak to water types, it's ridiculous. Like, so many teams are weak to water. Except when they have Luminami, because Luminami's Luminami. Alright, anyway. Now we're on to Tundralin, which I'm going to put in A tier. I remember someone telling me, no names are going to be disclosed here, but I'm going to keep calling him out for it until the day he realizes that he's dumb. Just kidding. But, Tundrolin is amazing. I remember someone told me that day 1 it's going to be low UU, like very low UU, because he said it was horrible. Look at it now. It is an absolutely incredible Loomian. Body Crash and Ice Hammer are very scary, but things like Ursanak, Ursul, Revenine, Spirit types are very good to counter this thing, because its main damage it's going to be putting out is Body Crash. So it can bulk up, rejuvenate, Body Crash, Ice Hammer can do all those things. You can even replace Ice Hammer for something, or not even that. Probably bulk up for like Ice Skull Traps if you really, really wanted to. But I recommend just using that moveset. It's probably the best one you can use. It can also scare things out like Ursul. It could technically beat in the long run, because it could just Ice Hammer and then just rejuvenate over and over. It would never end, basically, like something that happened to me earlier. Okay. Anyway, now we're on to Akalos, which I think I'm gonna put in B. That or low A. I think I might put it in low A tier. Akalos, to me, I think is a good Loomian. It's a good Loomian. I think it's a pretty good Loomian. It has good defense. It has quad resist ice, acts as like a good check to in Windtricks, which is a really scary Loomian right now. You can use clever, you can use robust, you can use brawny, you can use nimble, you can use pretty much anything but hyper or smart. So pretty much any personality that is like clumsy with another thing that's not hyper, this thing can probably use that. Although I think what people use is like clever, because this meta is literally everything is clever, or else you're just genuinely bad at the game. It's so true. But yeah, it has Brawn Boost, which makes it a scary wall breaker if it does indeed get its setup up. Also, it can sweep with aggressive if the Loomians, like their revenge killers like Zulong, Gobodemic, and Protagon are dead. Things like that it can scare out. No, not scare out. It can late game sweep if you're not careful. Plus, it's decent defensively because of its good health. Decent defenses. It's been a while since the Akalos' stats. It's been a little bit. Alright, but now we have Stricicle. I'm counting these because you can only find them currently during an event. So I'm counting Tundrolin and Windtricks and Harva. You guys don't get any say in this because I already made the video. Okay. Stricicle, I think I'm going to put in C. That or low or high D tier. I think I'm going to put in C. I fought a drop use Stricicle a while back. It was like Baffle. It was Baffle, Icicle Traps, Perch, and Frost Beam. Yeah, you can say it was a little bit annoying because I had not brought Protagon and I couldn't hit it really high, like blah, yada yada yada. And it has really good baffle support. So you can swap into teammates. You can use very sluggish with it. It can be really good. It also has recovery, so it's strong in that aspect. Plus, you can set up icicle traps consistently throughout the game with Perch. You can also hit pretty hard with Frost Beam because they do use Wise. So yeah, Stricicle is just a good Loomian. It's a good Loomian. All right, now Windtricks is immediately going to go to A tier. Windtricks is just like the best freaking Loomian. It's not the best Loomian in the game. It could be. I don't know. Windtricks is just really good. With Wise, literally the only two things that are able to resist its moves are Seer Knight and Akalos at the moment, I think. Those are what quad resist ice. If there's other things that quad resist ice, let me know in the comments down below. But those are the two things that come to my mind immediately. I don't think there is, but nope. Okay, so Windtricks with Wise is insanely strong with its Frost Beam stabs, like 113 attack, has Peace of Mind, it can set up, it can provoke, it can perch, it can it's crazy. It can stay healthy throughout a game. It can deal incredible damage regardless of what swaps in. If you're at +1, you're gonna be killing literally everything. And since everything is really bulky right now, Windtricks is just absolutely incredible at breaking open those holes in those teams. That's why Akalos is used and Seer Knight is used, so then they can counter those scary Windtrickses. But that's why you got like Protagon and such, and things like Terrafly support with Windtricks. Very scary because then those barbs, people do not want to swap in their talk to type versus like barbs and stuff. Like, you know, they don't want to swap their talk to types unless it's Venolin versus Windtricks. You don't want to do that. Let me just say that now. And Harva, I feel like it's very mediocre. It's really mediocre. I'm gonna put it in D tier. I feel like it needs a better dark move. I feel it just needs something. It needs like Mega Chomp or Slapped, something like that it could hit things like Luminami, Nimue needs things like that. I know it has chase down, but those things have consistent recovery. And if you could bulk up, and then you could mega chomp the Lumi or Nimue to take a lot of damage. Plus, you practically have any attack from full HP, regardless of what it is. Unless it's like a +4 Eliguana, then you're probably gonna die. But yeah, Harva is it's I don't know what to say. It's mediocre. Like, it's not bad, but it's definitely not the best. It's probably high D tier, low C tier. I'm gonna keep it here for now. I think that's a good judge over it. But yeah. And Nevermare, I think I'm gonna put here. Probably gonna put here in A. Nevermare is a really strong Loomian. It's really fast, can crit all the time. Bulky things don't really want to swap in if it's set up. It's really RNG based because you got that like 50% chance for a crit. So you don't really want to stay in versus it. If it gets one bulk up off and you don't have your Zulong or anything like left alive to hit it really hard, you could suddenly get sweeped, and it is very, very scary. But yeah, if you don't have anything that's Deja Vu or Provoke, if you don't have something that could tank a +1 crit, it's probably over for you. Unless you got your Vesp or Ursul or Rev or whatever the heck, your Shadow Sprinter, then there you go. That's how you beat this thing. But it's scary to deal with. Very scary to deal with. Alright, and Ursnack, I think I might also put an A. Like low A tier, high B tier. Ursnack is pretty strong. It's a strong wall breaker, can deal a lot of damage. I'm kidding. But Ursnack has an incredible pivoting, what is it? Pivot support. Yes, duh, brain. Pivot support with Baffle. It can daze things with Heartbreak. It can Shadow Sprint. It can Slapdown. Has utility. Has priority. Has support. It's really good. All it needs is recovery. If Ursnack got a recovery move, gosh, it'd definitely be like the best Event Loomian. But it has really good synergies with things like slow attackers like Valkyrie, like not Zepho, but things like maybe Hero, depending on the set you're using. Wrestling. It's really good, however, with Colossotrops because of how slow Colossotrops is. But with Colossotrops' certain speed, it's able to outspeed everything in the game when everything's at -2. But since Baffle is getting nerfed to -1, you probably would move Ursnack down to B. But at the moment, Baffle is still +2, -2 at the time we record this video. Okay, now we got Nimue, which we're getting into all the good Loomians. I think I'm gonna fix this real quick. I think I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I think this is where I'm gonna stand this. I think I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna move you down to high B tier. All right, here we go. Nimue, I'm so sorry. Did I break it? Oh God, I broke it. Okay. Anyway, Nimue, as you guys know, Brittany is a pretty strong Loomian to deal with, mostly because of its ability Incandescent, which boosts your damage by 25%. I forgot how much it is, but it basically boosts your light type moves by a certain amount. I just got disconnected from being idle. It boosts your light type moves, basically making you a scary Loomian to deal with. Plus, you can set up Peace of Mind, you can Gamma Pulse, you can Flash and Flee. All it really needs is something to hit plant types. Like if air hit plant types, then oh my God, Nimue would be very, very scary. But it doesn't. So eventually, if Nimue gets something like Fire Breath or Pyrokinesis, we're gonna see a lot of use. We already have light and fire coverage with Luxor. Luxor is like the only one with that, I think, at the moment of recording this video. Let me know if I'm wrong. All right, now we're on to Wobblisk. Depending on what you're using, Wobblisk is either the best Loomian in the game or no, I'm kidding. Wobblisk is definitely very, very good, but I can't say I don't love Wobblisk. I think I'm gonna do. Frick you, Mocho. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I can put it above Hoganosh. But yeah, Wobblisk, regardless of what you're using, if you're using a hasty sharpen set, you're suddenly a horrifying wall breaker. One time, my Wobblisk was burned at -1, and I almost KO'd an Arapago with no +1. I was like, okay, Wobblisk, calm down. Might not have been a trained Arapago, but that's just what I remember. But I was wrestling on a Tyra. I don't care. But yeah, regardless of what you're using on Wobblisk, it's gonna work pretty well, depending if you have the support for it to work. The reason I have Wobblisk on my teams is as a good air type counter, which that's what it does best, is counter air types, because it resists air, plus can hit air really hard, plus now that it has deep freeze, it can hit water types, we try to swap it versus frost beam. Plus, I use Luster Loot, so I can hit Spirit types, I swap it against Driving Force, and Driving Force to rack up the Icicle Trap damage, and it just works really well. And with Hasty, you're going to want to use, like, Baffle teams. If we ever get Sticky Web in the game, you're going to want to use a Nimble SA, which would be really funny if that exists, because then I got to go trade for one, which I could do for the future, for future videos. But, yeah, I think Wobbles is pretty good. Anyway, let's go into Festifer now. Festifer is an interesting one. I'm gonna put it in C. I don't think it deserves to be in D tier because of its like support and support and damage capabilities and its recovery. Thing is, if Festifer was just like fast, be very, very good. Because I mean, Ice and Plant is an interesting dual typing. You're able to hit what is I'm not gonna think about it now. I'm being trust. Why am I still gonna keep my eyes open? Anyway, Festifer, with its Raging Tackle with Chill, does a lot of damage, and it's very scary. No, it's for water types. Yeah, this thing's a good water type counter. It's actually very good versus Luminami, which is pretty good, because everything in the game wants to hit Luminami. And if you have Chill, when this thing gets Timber Thrash, Ventations are not going to swap in, if it's still the prominent melee wall, which I think Tundrelin is at the moment. But, yeah, Festifer is like in between, you know? It's like in between. But with Regift, it can bounce back things like Barbs. You can bounce back both of the traps. You can bounce back Baffle, Provoke, Sap Plant, all that stuff, and it can completely destroy teams if caught off guard. Alright, now we're on to Icicle, which I'm going to put in high... I'm going to put about here. Yeah, I think this is a fair placement for Icicle. Ice Hammer and Baffle was just the best buff it could have gone, plus it's going to be getting Soul Storm soon, and holy crap. This thing's going to be very... This is going to be very, very scary to... Did I your face make this? Whatever. It's going to be a very scary Loomian to have to deal with, because it can pivot, it can have 2 good stabs, and it can also recover. It can use Barter, it can use Chomps. It just is unpredictable. You don't know what's going to be using. That's what's crazy. And yeah, I think it's pretty good. Has recovery, has pivoting tactics. It's good. If it had like if it had tank or something, instant A tier. And now we are on to Metronet, which I think I'm going to put in. It's kind of weird because I think I'm gonna do this. I think this makes sense to me, mostly because like it can beat pretty much all this stuff except for like this is its only thing that can counter Metronet, right? Is like Hoganash. To me, I think this makes sense to put Metronet in this place because all these others are still pretty good. All right, but Metronet is a horrifying Loomian to fight. It's immune to status like burn and poison. It doesn't get hit by icicle traps, does not get hit by residual damage, pestilence won't affect it, stab plant won't affect it, all those things won't affect it. Plus, if it's applied frustration, swapping versus an ancient roar, suddenly you're at +3, and you're gonna OHKO pretty much anything in the game because of Metronet. Metronet just can do a lot. If it had instead of Charade, if it got Baffle at 44, I'm leaving LL if it ever gets Baffle. I swear I'm forgetting one, and I know it's either Candy Fan Cub or Halloween Kabunga, but I don't really want to count those as they're just kind of worse versions. But I did want to talk about Candy Fan Cub, so I'll bring it. I think if I was to rank it, I would put it here in D. Now, the reason I am doing this is, you might be wondering, it's a pre-evolution. Why is it good? Its secret ability is actually clingy, so it can actually keep its ability actually keep its item after a slapdown, so it actually works as an optimal slapdown switching. It just doesn't have recovery. If it had recovery, I would shoot it up to probably low B and high C tier, because if it could have recovery and keep all of its items, it'd be literally perfect for swapping to slapdown. But it's also bad because pretty much every slapdown user in the game has spirit coverage, so it can hit spirit types. Like Dorogo has it, Ursul has it, Vesp has it, Ragoon doesn't have it, which doesn't count. Ragoon doesn't count. Anyway, yeah, that's actually kind of the end. I guess you could technically count Shachi, but I'm not going to do the reskins. But yeah, that's not that one. This is actually, yeah, that's the end of the video. My thing disconnected, but yeah, if you guys agree with my rankings, let me know in the comments down below. What would you change? But I think I'm pretty happy with where this list stands. I think all the reasons made sense, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. See you in the next one. Bye.